Hello, and welcome back to the fourth instalment of my series, 12 Games in 12 Months, where I try to create 12 games in 1 year. April's game is Meow You See Me, Meow You Don't. You know, it's my birthday this month. I really wanted to make a nice, simple party game. Just something easy to take a small break from the intensity of the previous 2 games I did. But as it turns out, past me is an awful, horrible person who decided that the party game idea of everyone meowing at each other wasn't actually fun, and I'd need to do something with more substance. And to be fair, it wasn't very good. You had blocks in the middle of the table, and as a cat, you had to knock the blocks over without the human seeing. Then the human had to guess who did it. And there were also a few other rules just to keep it interesting.
Bailey, stop it! Oh.
It only required artwork for the box, and then I only needed to order some wooden blocks, so this could have been like a 2-week month. But when playtesting, my god, it was possibly the most boring and most broken thing I had ever played. So I did what I thought anyone would do. I overcompensated. I created a whodunit game that went from 2 rules to 100.
Yes, I did kill Lord Carnington.
My God, Varon, she's doing the evil voice.
The issue is, when you have a secret player, you need to box in everyone's actions without making it feel restricted. Everyone needs to have the same information and it needs to be enough to catch the villain. But it also needs to be possible for the villain to win too. I'm happy with what came out the other end, and it's certainly nothing like any other secret Hitler-esque game I'd played before.
I really don't know how this could have happened, Monsieur Varon.
No, too late. We've all heard you do the evil voice. Only murderers do that.
So how do you play Meow You See Me, Meow You Don't? First, let's look at what's in the box. There's 59 movement cards, 14 smash cards, 7 location cards, 6 cat cards, 49 location tokens, 6 cat tokens, 1 top cat token, 6 Y tokens, and 6 N tokens. Next, we set up the board. Everyone takes the cat card of their choice, the matching cat token, 1 Y token, and 1 N token. Take a number of location cards, matching the number of players, and add 1. For example, in a 4-player game, you take 5 location cards. Place these location cards in the centre of the table in a circle formation, so that the last location card links back to the first location card. Place the location tokens above each of these location cards in numerical order. So a 1 token above the first location card, a 2 token above the second location card, etc. Players take location tokens matching the location cards so that each player has a token for each location. Choose a player and give them the top cat token. Now we set up the guilty cat. All players close their eyes except the player with the top cat token. The top cat will create a number of decks face down matching the number of players. These decks will be identical with the exception of 1, which will include both move cards and smash cards. The table on screen shows the cards required for each player. Once the decks have been created, the player with the top cat token then closes their eyes. All other players open their eyes, randomly select a deck for themselves, and one for the player with the top cat token. The player with the top cat token now opens their eyes. Players now view their decks, and these will be used as their hands for the remainder of the game. So what's the objective? The objective of the cats without smash cards is to catch the guilty cat. The objective of the cat with smash cards is to place a smash card in each location. To start the game, each player will secretly choose a location to start in. They will place a movement card or a smash card face down in front of them. They will then also place the location token, matching the location they're in, face down on top of the card. Finally, they will place their cat token on top of the card as well. The game is then played in turns. Each turn, 1. Everyone plays a card from their hand face down in front of them. 2. Place a location token on top of this card. This must be adjacent to the last location you are in. So if you were in location 2, you could go to 1 or to 3. 3. Move your cat token onto this card to indicate you are now here. 4. The player with the top cat token reveals which location they're currently in. 5. All players with cards in this location, regardless if you're there now, must give these cards to the player with the top cat token. 6. The top cat does not look at these cards. They add any cards they have in this location, shuffles all of them together and reveals them to the group. 7. The top cat then decides whether or not to accuse one of the other players as the guilty cat. 8. If the top cat does accuse another player, voting then begins. Otherwise, you skip to step 13. 9. To vote, everyone places a Y token or an N token face down in front of them. 10. Once all tokens are placed, you reveal these tokens at the same time. 11. If the majority of the votes are Y, you then move on to the vote end. 12. If the majority of the votes are N, or if there is an equal split, everyone collects their vote tokens. 13. The top cat token is moved to the next player clockwise and the next turn begins. When cards are revealed, all move cards are discarded. If there is a smash card, you place this next to the location it belongs to. If you are the guilty cat, a smash card is used in the exact same way as a move card. You may not use a smash card in a location that has already been smashed. So warning, it is possible to make movement impossible if you are not careful. You must move to a different location each turn. It is possible to have more than one card under a single location token. You can talk and share information throughout the game, but you may never reveal any of your cards or your tokens unless you are instructed to. There are two ways for the game to end. You have the vote end and the smash end. For the vote end, if a majority of players vote Y, then the accused reveals if they were the guilty cat. If they were the guilty cat, all the innocent cats win the game. If they were not the guilty cat wins the game. For the smash end, once the guilty cat has placed a smash card at the final location, they must wait to see if there is a vote that turn. If there is not a vote, or the vote does not have a majority of Y tokens, then the guilty cat reveals that they have placed a smash card at each location and has won the game. If at any point the guilty cat cannot move without playing a smash card in a location that already has one, they must confess this to the group and the guilty cat loses the game. There are two variants to playing this game. There's the 2 guilty cat variant and the method variant. In the 2 guilty cat variant, if there are 5 or 6 players, you may choose to introduce a second guilty cat. During the setup, the top cat tells the players to close their eyes after looking at their decks. They will instruct the guilty cats to look at each other, then tell them to close their eyes, and then tell everyone to open their eyes again. This ensures the 2 guilty cats know who they're working with. For the vote end, if one of the guilty cats is found guilty, the top cat accuses one other cat without voting. If they are the guilty cats lose. Otherwise, the guilty cats win. For the smash end, the same rules apply but with 2 smash cards at each location. However, they must be sure that the other guilty cat has also played all their smash cards, otherwise the guilty cats lose. And for the method variant to the game, when players are communicating, they are only allowed to meow. And that is Meow You See Me, Meow You Don't. So let's talk about dice. For the more observant viewer, you might have noticed that there's only been 1 dice in the 4 games that I've made to this point. And there's a good reason for that. But to really understand my feelings on dice, we must first look at RNG. RNG, or random number generator, is an element that gives you a random solution. And this takes many forms. It can be a shuffle deck of cards, a dice roll, or a spinning dial like in Twister. The upside of creating a game with a lot of RNG is that it streamlines the game, makes it accessible, makes it infinitely replayable, and makes it far easier to develop in the first place. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, Monopoly has sold like 1 billion copies, and it's a game of pure RNG. But when you finish playing Monopoly, you usually have a room full of people who all like each other a little less. It's because the person who won didn't actually win. They could have switched positions and the player in their position would have won instead. The defeat doesn't feel fair, because there is very little you can do to prevent it happening. And that is the issues I have with RNG, specifically when it comes to dice being used for movement. I like to try out tactics and stretch games as far as they'll let me, but when I want to do something in Monopoly, Game of Life and Cluedo, I have to roll the dice 100 times over 5-minute intervals. It's a limiting factor that's put in place to make it so that anyone can win. So when I do make a dice game, I want to use it as my core mechanic. Think of games like Bang, Sagrada, Seasons, where their implementation is not only fun, but fair to all players. And that wraps it up for this month. For next month, the theme is plants. I have a plan for this game and know exactly what I want to do, but I've definitely said that before. Goodbye, and see you next month.